Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Good evening. I hope you had a wonderful day today at work and you're back at home, safe and sound. What am I going to talk to you today? Today I've actually put up a LinkedIn post in the morning. It's about what's happening in the small caps in India. There seems to be some kind of, irrational exuberance, as they say, in the small cap sector in India. There's a huge surge. If you see a year-on-year price on small caps across the board, especially in small caps funds, you see a huge uptick, and there's some people who are very cautious and some people seem to be thinking it's warranted. There's a huge debate right now between fund managers of big fund holdings that some believe, like in Kotak, there is too much exuberance and there's a bubble forming, where there are other people like in Novam who believe there is no bubble and that it's completely correct, this kind of pricing, because the earnings, looking forward, the earnings are all there to catch up and this price is correct. Because sometimes the market believes the earnings to be there in the future and goes ahead of the curve and tries to capture and take in profit before the actual PE justifies these kind of prices. This happens. We have seen this happen with Nvidia. We have seen this happen with some AI stocks in the US. And there is also talk of a bubble there also, that in AI stocks in US there's a bubble, that a few companies are holding up the market. And we in Shashwat spoke about in the Korean market, and which had come recently in the news again, about the regulators there being worried there's a bubble happening in the Korean market, especially in the tech sector. Here in India, the bubble seems to be forming in the small cap sector. Though there has been a net inflow, there has been a dip. Most fund houses seem unfazed by this dip, and they seem to be gung-ho about the small cap sector. And a lot more funds have been created under this small cap sector. The new fund offering in the small cap sector, like Baroda, BNP, Paribas Mutual Fund, Quantum is another one, just launched a new small cap fund. This shows that there's a keenness from retail investors and other fund houses to engage in this small cap sector. And there is also a lot of people who are doing profit booking, and there's a huge discussion. Is there resilience and diversity of the small caps warrants this kind of evaluations for the small caps in India? But historical performance, it's always shown that the historical data also shows that there's huge fluctuations in the returns in small caps, and small caps are always known to be volatile. Because small caps is the nascent environment. It is like, looking at, if I want to give an analogy, it is like the place where, in the nebula cloud where stars are born. It's a very violent place, and it's highly unpredictable, and it's not suitable for stable long-term growth in small cap, because small cap companies come and go. Evaluations sometimes seem very lopsided, so it is something to be very cautious. This is my perception of it. Yes, I do believe, I take the side of the Kotak fund managers and do believe there is seemingly a bubble forming in the small cap stock sectors. And if you look at specific companies also, evaluation seems to be skyrocketing. Some of it seems to be from the foreign institutional investors, whom seems to be coming to India as a flight of safety, because right now, if you look at the global scenario, looking at China, looking at Southeast Asia, and looking at what's happening, especially with Hamas and Israel and the Middle East, with oil starting to boil, and the recent news today breaking with Israel bombing or Israel claiming they didn't bomb, and they're blaming Hamas and Hamas blaming Israel. To be correct, I should be careful in my words here. It seems to be a huge uptick in the conflict. There seems to be, though America has been hoping that there'll be some kind of a quick resolution to this conflict, I don't think there's going to be any quick resolution. If anything, there's going to be a long protracted one, like the Ukraine one, and it might even draw in Lebanon and Iran into this conflict, making the whole thing a lot more confusing. Especially if you look back at history, the Middle East conflict seems to be going towards that. So taking that into consideration, and the European situation with Ukraine and the European economy being down, and the US looks like it's going for some kind of a recession, foreign institutional investors seem to be favoring India as a safe bet, at least in the short term, because our elections are not due for the next 6-7 months. And it's a safe place to park your investment in India, because at least you are short of some kind of returns. And if in the coming elections BJP comes back in majority, this stable environment which is India will continue. Most foreign initial investors do not care about political alliances. They do not care about, they don't have any allegiance to any political parties. They just require a stable environment for them to profit in. That will be assured if BJP does come back to power. So that's the kind of bet they're making, and that's why they're investing in India right now. So all those funds which are flowing into India, most of that bet is being made in the small cap sector, is what some of the data is pointing at. And if you look at that data, that explains why there's such a price increase in the small cap. Now, what would I say to you young investors like me who are sitting there on the sideline and watching this? If you've not invested in small cap and you've not looked at small cap funds right now, I would strongly suggest the way I'm doing is to stay out of it. Please don't get captured into this. Even if you feel there is good reasons for this kind of evaluation in small cap, tread very cautiously, because right now it is on a high. Like any situation, when it's on such a high, it is due for a correction. And usually small caps, when they correct, they don't correct like large cap, they correct huge, which we have not seen before, where you can see a correction of 10%, 15%, even 20%, depending on the company, depending on the stock. So this is the reason why I would say tread very carefully if you do wish to go. There is extreme greed in the market, and Warren Buffett very famously said, if there's so much of greed in the market, one should be fearful. And I would rather that you keep your investments in something safer and stick to large cap and index funds and stay passive at this current scenario. Don't get sucked into what you're reading in the news or what you're hearing on other channels or other things. This is my advice. And I'm not a fund manager. I'm not a SEBI registered person. So this is just my opinion. And this is what I am doing. I hope you understand when I'm saying this repeatedly that I'm not a fund manager, nor am I an advisor of any shape or form. This is just my humble opinion. I would be cautious, and this is what my brother's been telling me too. So I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. If you do want to read more about it, I've put a longer article in LinkedIn. My LinkedIn ID is there below, and Kesav will definitely put the article link also in the description. And those of you who want to read it, can definitely read it. And I do suggest that you do go to Google and put in small cap bubble India and see the articles which are there and do read about it, so you get a balanced view and a balanced opinion, that you don't form your own biases, especially have a confirmation bias like most of us do. Thank you for watching the video today. I hope you found it informative, entertaining as always, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with Anand or Kesav or Shashwat. Thank you.
It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.